it's only right we start with what went on at Anfield. Man City kept pace in their bid to win the title with their first win at Anfield in over 5 years. They said yesterday that all the times they've been to Liverpool Stadium, they haven't won, or probably drawn a few, but that was their first win in a long time. Goals from Bernardo Silva and a penalty from Haaland, and a really good free kick from Szoboszlai to get things going. But ultimately, City held on to secure the 3 points. Now, last week we spoke about Liverpool's defensive issues. But before we get to that, Callum, how did you react to the match?
Yeah, well, it's a story of our season recently, like where it's either one or the other way around. Either we'll play really well in the first half and then completely fall away in the second half, or we'll play terribly in the first half and get a reaction in the second half. And yesterday was obviously the latter, but yeah, I just feel like it's actually in front of the goal is where we're really struggling at this moment in time. And it just seems so stupid. Like when we got players like Salah, Ekatike playing, Wirtz, Szoboszlai, like they're all capable in front of goal. But I feel like there's sort of like a hesitancy. I don't know if it's down to confidence or whatever. But when they're getting into that final third, there's a hesitancy. And that's in regards to making a chance as well as scoring a chance. Like we're very reserved at the moment. And I think that's I think it's down to obviously confidence, but like you're going to hear, like, I'm very reserved on our coach at the moment, because I feel like I think I was touching on it in the chat the other day, like when we won the league last season, that was Jurgen Klopp's team. All of those players, the reason they play that way and the reason they're that intense is because they have played under Jurgen Klopp. Where we had this huge reshuffle, which now feels quite rushed in the summer, new players have come in, and this manager has to get the intensity out of those players coming in, and he hasn't managed to do it. Like there was a statistic a few weeks ago. It was like in our last 12 or 13 games, we had been outrun in every single game, which that no matter what the results were like under Jurgen Klopp's tenure, that would never happen 12 or 13 games in a row. And like the way we are as a football club, like at Anfield especially, we're very intense. Like the crowd gets on top of people. The players are meant to be like ducking people down. Like that's who we are as a football club and as our identity. And at this moment in time, I feel like this manager's not getting it. It's like when you see the behind the scenes of like the training and things like that, it doesn't look intense based. Like I don't even know what they're doing. I saw there was a clip the other day of Kirkez like doing high knees. But the high knees were like he was having to hit a pad, and I'm like, what purpose is this serving in a football match? You know, like when we're not pressing our opponent, we're not winning the ball back, we're losing our duels, and any team, to be honest, it feels like if they switch it on for even 10 seconds, 15 seconds, they can cut through the entire setup, the entire team. Like one ball in behind the fullback. One ball takes out the entire midfield, and there's no pressing, and it's really undoing us at the moment. So that's the problem I feel like we have with our style. In regards to yesterday, I thought we came on really well in the second half, and obviously we was on top. That free kick is out of this world. Like we saw the one earlier on in the season. Obviously against Arsenal, which I think was better in all fairness. But
really,
yeah, I think it was better, man. Yeah.
I thought that 35-yard free kick yesterday was unbelievable. I thought it was better than the one against us, to be honest.
Yeah, no,
just because it's against Donnarumma as well.
But what I would say about it is, like, why would you leave a 2-man wall? Like
that was
a 4-man wall, because it goes like obviously on the right side of the wall as they're looking at it, right? But it's like shoulder height to them, and it's a 2-man wall.
That's where the third man would be in a wall. In a 4-man wall,
that's where the third man would be. Yeah,
I think they underestimated him, to be honest. I didn't think.
100%. But it's like, how can you watch the free kick? They're nigh on exactly the same position. How can you watch the free kick that he scored against Arsenal and then put 2 people in the wall. Like,
I mean, against
he's-
Arsenal, he
he's
had better
capable-
protection. He had more protection against the goal. He had the same level of keeper as you proclaim, Tyrese. You know, you want to say that David Raya is one of the best in the world. Donnarumma is one of the best in the world easily. And, you know, he done it against the same level of goalkeeper. He just did
Nah,
it
but
with
both
less
of
of a Man
them-
City wall.
both of them were unsavable, in my opinion.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Because like the thing, like the way he's cut across the ball, obviously, I'm sure we would have watched loads of replays between us, but as he's cut across the ball, the keeper don't know where he's going, and then by the time he makes a decision, the ball's already gone.
Yeah.
Almost moved
So,
like the Jack
yeah,
Maloney back in 2010.
It's about the
Yeah,
strike.
proper knuckle. Proper knuckle.
Ex-
That's
exactly.
more of a.
It's like they invited him to do that because he's capable of doing something like that. Like not even just striking at goal. I've seen him hit passes with that same kind of fade technique. They know he's capable of doing that, and I think they was asking him to, and like obviously he punished them. But yeah, and then yeah, obviously the Bernardo Silva one is it's a great bit of movement from him, to be fair, because he can see that he knows Haaland's going to win the header, and he knows what Haaland's trying to do, and he's off before he even heads the ball. So it's a great bit of movement from him. To be fair, with the second goal, obviously Alisson's come out like a bit of a madman, but I wouldn't. I feel like as a goalkeeper, when someone's in behind like that, their first thing is to smother the ball. And like he saved us so many times, I would never give like Alisson grief about anything that's not over the top. I think the defending on the far side, I think it was from Jones and McAllister. They just didn't identify the run that was being made inside. And I know, like Jamie Carragher said on commentary about Virgil van Dijk should be 5 yards over, but I was like, do you not have eyes? Like, where Virgil van Dijk's occupying is the space that Haaland would run into. So yeah,
Cal,
again,
do you think it was a
it's just
penalty?
lackluster and not being switched on at every minute of the game and not having that intensity, and like I don't really. That's sort of maybe an individual mistake between McAllister and Jones, so I don't really want to put that on the manager too much. But I feel like this is all creeping in because he can't get the intensity out of the players that we was getting before. And yeah, that's where I'm at with it. Like obviously, like the kind of result it was yesterday, it's not the kind of thing where you're like, yeah, sack him now, he's got to be sacked. Like, but I do feel like the Grim Reaper's knocking on his door because we've had so many bad. Like, I would have sacked him after the PSV result at Anfield, to be honest. Like that was an awful result. Like I know we went through and stuff, but it's like the games we had, and we did have some good wins, obviously, against Real Madrid. But we should be going through that anyway, like coasting through it. Like it was a fairly easy draw. So I don't necessarily want to like play to the tune of, yeah, well, he's got us through to the Champions League. We could have a good run in the Champions League, because we're now in the business end of the Champions League, and we're going to be playing teams that were good enough to get through as well. And over 2 legs against teams that are going to be playing intense, looking at us throughout the season, looking at our weaknesses, I can't see us going too far. Obviously, over the years, we've been a very good cup team in the Champions League. But I don't know, man. I feel like coupled with Slot being out of his depth, as well as the massive reshuffle in the summer, there's that mixture of we're not getting the quality of a man that knows how to lead an inexperienced group of players, and we're also taking for granted the gelling period a lot of these players are going to need. Like it's like the same with Chelsea, when Chelsea had 2 or 3 windows where they was just buying everyone, selling everyone. Like players had to gel. Like you can't just chuck 11 people on a pitch and then expect them to play football. Like especially when the manager's not giving you an identity. And I feel like we've lost our identity when we had one last season, and I feel that's down to the manager. But I think the board let themselves down as well, not replacing Luis Diaz. I think he's been a huge miss for
I think
us.
that's harsh because you did have a replacement in Diego Jota, and it's just sadly that the Diego Jota incident happened. So
Yeah, but
you
I
gotta
think
remember, and they
Jota
brought
was
in
going to be sold.
Isak before then as well. So
Yeah,
you know,
I think Jota was going to be sold personally myself, because
do you?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
really thought he'd be your starting left winger. Or
No, look, like,
being
I
in there.
love Jota, but like with his injury problems and stuff like that, like last season, I think he only managed, I can't remember how many goals he got. It was like 6 or 7 or something, but he weren't playing his best, and I think the club would have recognised that with the way they were shifting people out, like Quansah. Quansah, for example, was a really good player. Now we're short at centre back. I think they would have shifted Jota, and I think in particular it would have been to Newcastle to help with the Isak deal.
Yeah.
That's genuinely
Yeah.
what I thought was going to happen.
I was talking about this with Max. I think the Isak deal was a bit of a silly one from you guys in the end. I think it was a. I understand why you done it, but I think that was a signing that
I
you
think
just didn't need after Ekitike.
yeah, I know, but I think we was always gonna, because of what happened to Jota, we was always gonna bring in 2 players like that. Like Ekitike, sort of like, he's been brilliant up top, but he's sort of like a hybrid left winger striker, like how Jota was. We wanted like an out and out striker, and Isak was the marquee signing from the first day of the transfer window for us. Like, any Liverpool fan, the club, you could just feel it. We all just wanted Isak non-stop. No matter who we brought in, no matter who we sold, it was all about Isak. So I feel, and especially with him obviously throwing his toys out the pram at Newcastle, I feel like at that point they was just like, no, well, we need to go and get him, because
Surely him
you know
doing
what
that,
I mean?
yeah, I do. But surely seeing him do that at Newcastle, showing what his attitude is like. When Newcastle gave him everything, the fans gave him more or less
Yeah,
everything.
surely
He
you
done
must be
so well, won a
somewhat
trophy
royal.
with
Yeah, of
that
course.
club the year before. Surely a part
Yeah.
of like Liverpool fans and the club must have. I know he was pushing it, but you must have seen that and gone, do we want this kind of heat? Because now he's injured. Ekitike is on form, and I was talking about this Max. When one comes back, who starts? Because if Ekitike starts, Isak's he's got he's got that heated mentality, and then Ekitike deserves to start, and he does. So in the end, one of them are going to be sold, and
Yeah.
it's
Well,
probably going to be
what I'd say
Ekitike
about
too.
that is, what I'd say, if Isak can get his shooting boots on, then I'm sure Ekitike would be happy, like on the left side.
Would he?
I
I
think
mean,
he would.
would you
don't know so
lose
much.
your
He
player that's
ventures
playing
off there
so well
anyway,
right
and
now?
he runs in behind. And Gakpo has just been so lackluster this season. Like last season, when he was competing with Diaz, I felt like it was bringing out the best in him. And then we sold Diaz, never brought in another left winger, and he's literally, I don't know what he's got on slot, but the guy will just not drop him. And like, I'm sure you've all seen it. Literally, the guy gets the ball, cuts inside, shoots, hits the defender. And the thing is, what's coupled with that and why it affects us so badly as a side, Kirkhead is bombing on about 50, 60 yards to give him an overlap. He's then cutting inside, just kicking it against one of their defenders. They're going long into Kirkhead's empty space. We've been undone by that so many times this season. And for the manager to not recognise that and say to Gakpo, like, listen, for the love of God, just hit the byline, do a cross, play Kirkes in, just do something other than what you're doing. We are really suffering.
The thing is, though, it is quite nice. I know it annoys you. Football nowadays, it feels like everyone's trying to pass it in the back of the net. I feel like it is nice to have that free player. I know he's not your top player, but it's still nice to have that player that cuts in and takes shots. Because
No, like,
we've watched games where
I like that about him.
Yeah,
I like
you
that
watch
about him,
games.
but it's got to work. One time in 20, like the guys.
Yeah.
I don't know how many shots he's had this season, but I'd struggle to think even 10% of them have even been on target, because they're hitting the defenders all the time.
He's a bad player, though. I get that he might not be Liverpool standard, but surely he's still up there. Like, he can easily get in a lot of.
No, I like Gakpo.
Could
but
he get in the
need
Chelsea team?
competition.
Could he get in the? I mean, he can obviously get in the Spurs side. Could he get in the Chelsea team right now?
What I think with him,
I'm
he
sure he
needs
could.
competition, because last season he was 10 times the
I
player.
mean, isn't that where Chiesa comes in? I know he's not
Yeah,
particularly left winger, but he is
He's not been good enough every game he's started. He's not been good enough.
He's just like the Nunes off the bench.
He's not been good enough. No. He's dead
I
wood.
was going to say, Callum, well spoken about
Thank you,
everything at
JP.
Liverpool. But Max, do you think, because Callum said earlier that obviously selling Diaz has now left Gakpo as the sole left winger, do you think Gakpo has now grown comfortable with that position, knowing that there's no other player that could displace him starting on the left wing? Because I think one game that just sprung to mind was when you lost against Manchester United at Anfield. and Gakpo had nearly 5 or 10 chances. He could have scored a hat trick even.
I was at that game.
Yeah, hit the crossbar and post and everything. So Max, do you think
as well.
you think that could be a mistake in the January transfer window to not bring in like competition for Gakpo at least, or somebody to challenge his spot?
I think 100%. I think he knows as well that Slot's going to pick him every week. You know, we've been crying out for him to get dropped at least one game week. You know, just give him the drop. But he's consistently being picked by Slot, and he must feel like he's in a position where he's comfortable in that left wing position. He knows with Isak injured, he knows he's not going to shift Ekatike out on the left. So he knows that he's pretty much got that shirt. But if you don't mind me talking as well a bit about yesterday's game, I mean, obviously it was pretty poor result for us, especially the way we're going with the Champions League race with you guys and Manchester United. I've seen a lot of stuff on Slot's tactics yesterday, but for me personally, it's got to come down to the players for yesterday's performance. I mean, you play that well in the second half, and I think the way Slot led the team out with the second half tactics, we were all over City like United were, but the difference was we couldn't convert. We had so many good chances in yesterday's game, and there was a lot, just failure to convert. And if you don't convert against a team like City, all they need is one chance to get back into the game. Got that chance, took it. The great little play, and then obviously you had the penalty, and you had that fiasco in the last minute, which has left Szoboszlai, our best player of the season, getting banned for 3 games, which is obviously not ideal at all. But
is it 3 games or is it 1 game?
3 games, straight red. 3 games.
Straight red. Yeah.
No, yeah, but I thought straight reds now is for
Straight reds are 3 games.
Like dangerous challenging, straight reds 3 games.
3 games.
If it's violent conduct, it could be 4 or 5. It depends how violent it was, but
it was straight red 3 games. It wasn't violent or anything. It was just.
But that's what I'm saying, Max. Like the only intensity we have, like Szoboszlai in midfield, like obviously a Klopp player.
But the problem is you're playing him at right back. The problem is we keep playing him at right back, and it's just I know the depth isn't there right now at that position, and I appreciate that. But I just can't stand seeing him play right back because our midfield looks so much better every week when we have Szoboszlai in that midfield.
Yeah, well, there's no press in there. That's what I'm saying. Without him.
Yeah, but he brings that. He's always the one that covers so much distance. He's the one that's bringing the Klopp press in this Slot team.
Exactly.
And when you play him at right back, you've got nothing. You've got nothing in the midfield. And a lot of times I'm looking at that game where we're creating chances, we lose the ball. And we just give City too much time. We give them too much credit, and we gave them too much time. And that's been the story. That's been the story of the season, to be honest.
Yeah,
when Szoboszlai's at right back, we're giving them time. We're giving teams too much credit. But look, I think City played reasonably well as well. I don't think they were great, but they came with a plan. Credit to Mark Gahey, man of the match. I mean, he was incredible.
Good missed player for you guys.
Incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, what he did, his work yesterday was amazing, brilliant stuff. Still can't grasp why our fans were booing him, to be honest, because he actually wanted to join us.
It wasn't his fault. It was to do with.
I don't really get that, and I don't support that.
Why is he not going to turn down a move to
I know.
No, it's only because
he approved it.
Really sad that he
deal to us. So I don't get it.
He was going to move at the end of the season.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
Glasner was threatening to leave Crystal Palace if Gahey was sold in the summer.
Yeah. And Gahey wanted to move, but
only because of no adequate replacement, though.
Oh yeah, that's also true.
Yeah, no, that's what undone us. Who's the guy? He was at Palace. No, he was at Brighton.
Oh, Igor
he wanted to go. Yeah, he wanted to go to West Ham instead of Crystal Palace.
Yeah,
and he's just been shipped back to Brighton already. So it's like. That was the final nail in the coffin. But just going off of what you were saying, Max, the with City yesterday, they came with a plan in the first half, and I thought we was all over them in the second half. But when we scored that goal, they kicked it up a notch, and then obviously they got the goal, and then they found another gear. Right now, we don't know how to come out of
But
come out of
that's
a,
been
a
our biggest.
coasting
That's
gear.
my biggest gripe with slot football right now. Is if we've got a lead, if we're playing against a good side like City, we've got a lead. Immediately when we scored, we sat back. We shut things down. We said, right, we're gonna let them come at us. We're gonna set up shop. And
I know.
Klopp
Do
would never
you know
do
the
that.
football
Klopp
it
would never
reminds
do
me
that.
of, Max? Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
go on.
Well, I just said Klopp would never do that. Like
No,
Klopp,
No.
the
Yeah,
games
Klopp
against
would
City
never
we
do
had in the
that.
past, we'd go in for the kill. We'd go in
Yeah,
for the kill.
yeah, I know.
I think
But
I just again,
that's not who we are as a football club, though, Max.
No.
And I feel like he's not grasping that. I feel like he's got this like holier than thou attitude. Like, I come in and won the league for you, but it's like it was a weak, like it is this year. It was a weakened Premier League last year, and we capitalised on it. Like Klopp got one less point the season before, and we won the league with one more point. Obviously, we won it earlier, so that's going to factor into.
I think that's the only reason why the players dropped off.
But look,
because we won it so early.
I still look at this season, right, and I still think we've got a relatively new squad. I'm not saying it's fully changed. We've got Salah, who's been miles off it. He's been absolutely miles off it. Like I said, you've got all these new players, and we're forgetting like the age of these players. You got Kirkes. I understand Kirkes was one of the best in the Premier League last season.
No, but Max, it's all
But
done
he's-
by design. It's all done by design. When people come out saying young squad, Chelsea won the league with one of the youngest squads ever. That young squad excuse is the biggest lot of bollocks that's been created in football media. Yeah,
Man
I've it
United
with
had
people
their
saying
golden age.
young squad.
Their
You
golden
forget I
voice.
work in you forget I
Because-
want to work in media. So
Yeah, because we have a
So
young
that's-
average
yeah.
age, and we're doing well at the moment. Chelsea under Mourinho had a young average age; they won the league. So it's all done by design. If a club chooses to bring in young players, they have to know the consequences that the young players aren't always going to be
Will be
consistent.
bringing.
I think
Yeah,
it only matters when like a team's actually full of injuries and they're playing a squad like of young players that generally they don't
Aren't
they're
at
not
that level
supposed to be
yet.
out on that pitch.
Yeah.
Do you get what I
Yeah.
mean?
I'm not saying we're
always-
injury stricken either, but the right back situation's just really affecting the whole team, like I mentioned with the Szoboszlai move, because Szoboszlai is that midfield general.
He's been
that's always pressing,
undoubtedly
that's
your
always-
best player of the season, Szoboszlai.
Oh, he's
But-
been. I said with Tom when it was a team of the year so far with Tom and JP. I said Szoboszlai for me walks in, and he's the only Liverpool player that I want walking into that
Yeah.
team.
He didn't actually
Yeah.
get in, did he?
Because-
We chose, I think at the
Well,
point we chose
who
Boyd.
loses
No,
their
like, the only
midfield?
one-
Who's
the only one that has a
I
chance.
tried my absolute
We
hardest.
chose Caicedo, Rice, and Foden in the midfield.
Yeah, but okay, before you lot say Foden,
Good
Foden
midfield.
at that
God,
point was like
Foden
really
was
good.
Oh, Foden.
Yeah, but I would have still
Foden
taken
at that
Szoboszlai
point was
miles
really good.
over him.
He's great. He dropped off as soon as we put him in the team of the season. Maybe he was watching a podcast, but
But like, yeah, just disappointing. And now I think it's just disappointing not going from that Newcastle game as well. I go back to the game. We played so well against Newcastle, and that filled me with confidence, thinking, right, we were at home to City. We saw what United did to them. And we couldn't capitalise. Now we've got a tough game against Sunderland, and we were talking before. I think they're unbeaten at home, or they might have
Yeah.
lost one at home. I think.
they've lost
Yeah.
the Drew maybe, or I think they might
Yeah,
have
they've
lost
drawn.
one. or two.
They've
They've been pretty damn good,
But I'm just
especially beating Newcastle there
Yeah.
too, which was
Yeah, I
almost
just,
a big game.
yeah. So we got Sunderland midweek, and if we drop more points, United are on good form. They've got West Ham. Chelsea are relatively good form. We could fall back. We could really fall back in this Champions League race further
Yeah.
than we need to be.
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
that's
And,
what I'm saying though, Max. I feel like the writing has been on the wall for him since that PSV game. Like, he should have just been gone then. But at the same time, the club's probably looking at the options out there. Obviously the massive difference at this moment in time is that Xabi Alonso has come into conversations, and I just feel like the longer you leave it, you never know what else is going to happen in the league. Other teams are going to be sniffing around a manager of that quality, because I didn't think he did bad at Madrid. I can't remember who it was. Was it you, Tyrese? I was speaking to in the chat the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like, I don't think it's necessarily his fault why he got sacked at Real Madrid. He's just not the right man for Real
Madrid. Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree,
because the
100%.
players there are so good, they're expected just to be allowed to
Walk the
play. And
league.
he came in with like, no, this is system. Where
Yeah.
that doesn't really work at Real Madrid. I thought you hit the nail on the head. But where like, and I don't know if you can agree to this, Max, but our football at this moment in time reminds me of is actually like Gareth Southgate's England. Like literally, we get in front, and foot's off the gas, and we
To be
let
fair,
teams
Gareth
come out.
Southgate can keep a clean sheet.
I swear to God, It's like we're brilliant in moments. We're
But I
brilliant
couldn't
in
understand
moments.
it because
didn't have Van
because
Dijk, he had Maguire.
the Newcastle result was a complete anomaly because
Van Maguire.
we scored one, we scored two, and then we kept going at it. Obviously
Yeah.
we took the pedal off a bit in the second half, granted. But it's just some games have definitely got that look, and yesterday was a prime example. It's just really disappointing. Just
Yeah.
There's not much else to say really.
One of the main big talking points is what happened in stoppage time. Now, we do have our resident referee in the call who used to have referee experience, Rob. Stoppage time raised a lot of questions. Now, I mean, I'm guessing all of you have seen the match now. So what happened was obviously Ireland had just scored a penalty. Liverpool sent everybody up for the corner to try and equalise. They failed to equalise, and then Turkey obviously took the ball and shot towards goal, and it was already going in. Like, there was no need for anybody to get a touch or anything. But then what happened was Szoboszlai, he first pulled Haaland's shirt, and then Haaland pulled his shirt, and then Szoboszlai went down, and all this time the ball was still rolling in, and we thought at that time it was going to be 3-1. But then, obviously, Liverpool complained about VAR, and they got what they wanted. They got the VAR check, but it went against them completely.
The referee law for 8
the referee decided to disallow the goal and also
it's
send the
another
Szoboszlai.
goal
Now,
for an opportunity.
Rob, how
Maybe
did you
the ball
assess that
rolled
whole
in, but
situation?
you can't preempt an outcome on something that hasn't been done. So, and also, he played advantage, but because he had to give the red card, when the second yellow or red cards, you can't play advantage. You've got to give that second yellow or that red card. So, like, if that happened, like, say if Szoboszlai did
But it did roll in.
he was on a yellow, he did a really bad challenge, Harden in the middle of the pitch. He had it, and City got problems in attack. The ref had to stop the play to give Szoboszlai the red card. I know it's crazy, but that's yeah.
Wait, sorry, but isn't the rules like, sometimes when a player does something and like advantage is played and they could score or whatever, the goal will still count and the referee will still go back and give that player a yellow card. Why is that not the same with like a red card situation? Like, say Szoboszlai's going to get a second yellow, but Man City score. Why is there not an advantage played? Why does the ref have to stop it for a red?
You're going to have
Why
those
can't he just play
people
advantage and
and
then send
also
the player off
other
after?
refs. Here's make a whole.
Why is it a different rule?
That's it. You have to send them off immediately, I think. Don't you?
Rules. If when I'm refereeing this on the league, someone handballed it on the line. Obviously, a red card offence, but the ball went in. The ball did actually go in. It was over the line, but he stopped it from hitting the net. So I said, you know what? I can give a goal and give a yellow card, or it's a penalty, I'll give you a red card. And he chose yellow card and a goal, and that's it. But when it comes to like Premier League, it's just a massive standard. And other refs and refs in general, they really value the opinions of other refs. They don't care about fans. They don't care about the players. They just care about if they're doing the job right and their ratings, really. Obviously, though, in non-league, even Championship, I think it's just it depends on the interpretation of the situation of the ref. But yeah, but if I was this game and that went in, I'll just let it go. Like, who cares, innit? Just let it go run. I mean, especially if it's going to be 3-1 with like 1 second left, I think both teams would rather, City would rather the goal and Liverpool would rather Szoboszlai not sent off. But obviously, rules are rules, and everyone's called in Craig Pawson and Killjoy, but and I don't want to be one over, but I think VAR and he made the right decision.
Surely the rule is if it's a straight red card, the referee's not allowed to, he's not inclined to play advantage.
But didn't he allow the goal?
He has to stop play.
He allowed the goal.
But he played advantage.
He has.
I don't think the ref saw it. Yeah, but maybe the ref didn't see it as a red card.
You don't need VAR to know that's a clear and obvious like goal scoring opportunity. the guy's got a free run at goal without
Yeah,
holding.
obviously.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
but
held
he
the
let
goal
play
offside,
on.
yeah.
No,
What I'm saying is, isn't it
Yeah.
against the laws anyway? Because if it is a straight red card, no matter the scenario, if the referee knows it's a straight red card, he has to stop play straight
yeah,
away.
but the ref, Max, the only thing, the ref probably played it as an advantage because he thought it was a yellow card because he saw them both pulling on each other and he's far away from the play. He can't see that that's, a straight
I mean,
red.
I get that, but it's
he's gonna
kind of
play the
clear and obvious,
advantage.
though, isn't it? It's clear and obvious.
I mean, for us it is. You got to
For
remember, for
us.
us, we're watching it on clear TV, with 4K HD TV with like literally a great camera angle, watching it happen. The ref from his angle
Yeah, exactly.
was from the
They've
corner
always-
box, and you got to
they've
remember it
always-
was kicked all the way straight away,
Yeah.
and 2 players ran after. The ref's not as fast as Haaland Szoboszlai.
Yeah, but it was just a question. I was
He
just,
probably- yeah, no,
the way it looked.
from the ref's perspective, he probably- You got to remember the referees know there's VAR now, so they know that
Yeah.
if he calls out a red
Fair.
card and it's not a red
Fair.
card situation, imagine he calls it back, it's not a red card situation, so he's basically just stopped the whole goal from going in because he decided to not play advantage. He's got to play those terms. If he can see it's a straight red, like Szoboszlai's 2-footed him in the back, like he knows that's going to be a straight red, right? There's no thing. But he saw a bit of tugging. He's seen them both players go, obviously Szoboszlai done it first, but then Haaland's pulled back and they both tumbled over each other, balls rolled in. He probably gave it, played advantage because he saw both players tugging on each other and thought they fouled each other. It's a bit of both worlds. There's no reason.
and
I mean, to
following
be fair,
from
I don't
Tom's
even think
part-
Haaland fouled Szoboszlai. Even though Szoboszlai
Yeah,
fouled him
and-
for, I don't think Haaland really
Yeah,
did
and
anything
on
wrong.
what you were saying
He
as
was
well,
just running. I know he
a
gave it. I
referee,
gave
like,
Szoboszlai a little
people don't
pull,
understand how much
but
pressure
it was more
it
just
is
a
and how
tangle
much
of
you
legs
can
that
make
no
you
player was
act on the
stopping the ball
pitch,
from getting in. I don't
and
think
you
Szoboszlai was
do
even getting to
everything,
the ball
and the
anyway.
noise over from the fans.
So I mean,
It's really
Haaland
hard. Like,
was the closest,
level
really, I'd say, to tap that ball away.
yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. See, the video's not out yet though, because basically I did the best version, and they cut know my secrets. No, but
Exactly.
what ref
Rob,
did, let the goal
Rob,
run.
Rob, it was like that when you done the
Because he
Champions
knows
League
it's
final last
VAR,
season, wasn't it?
It'll save his bacon
Bloody
anyway, and
intense,
then
mate.
they just did it. Obviously, like that's why I feel like if that happened at grassroots level, it's just a bit like I don't know what to do. Like,
You'd probably let the goal in, wouldn't you, at grassroots? You'd probably just allow the goal at grassroots.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, though, this all really could have been avoided if Cherky just channeled his inner David Beckham and added more power on his.
I was when you watch it, it's like what's he doing? He just it's like, because obviously I know Haaland's like so quick, but why wouldn't you just go for goal?
To be fair,
Why wouldn't you just go for goal?
Yeah, but Max, he did. He got it, and he got it to a stage where either Haaland was going to tap it in or it rolled in the back of net. It rolled in the back
No,
of
but
net.
it was
The only player to be fair, the only player that was
Yeah.
actually going to get to it was Haaland. So either way, he was going to get a goal or assist. It was, and he knew sometimes when you whack it, it can curl off, it can go weird. Look, we've all watched Cherky. Cherky's you might think, oh, just whack it, because we've seen players do it all the time. But Cherky is such a technically gifted player. We've seen how he can strike a ball with both feet, how he can pass the ball, how his skills are. I think he knows well aware what he was doing in that situation. He knows if he hits it along the ground, he obviously hit it with the perfect power. Because when you think of it, it's still rolled in the back of the net. Despite all the problems, it's still rolled in the back of the net. So his technique was perfect. Didn't go off target. Was enough that it put Haaland through just in case. It was.
also,
I don't.
well,
I would have gone for. I would have gone for goal.
He did go for goal in a way.
Yeah, but I would have.
He rolled in.
I mean,
But it was
when
Haaland
that
was
goal was rolling, it did feel very slow motion.
It did feel slow motion, but he obviously got the technique right because it still went in the back of the net. And Haaland would have got there too. So either way, it was a goal or assist.
Well,
Yeah.
the goal would have stood.
If you don't
the goal
stick by
would have
laws of the
stood.
game,
It
people
would have
start
stood, and it would have been
twisting
nice for my
and twist
fantasy.
The
interpretations.
goal
Like,
would
you
have
have
stood.
to. We did that.
That damn
That could
fantasy,
happen
he's
another
died on the
game.
bench
If
too.
you didn't give a red and another
Wait.
ref gave a red, it would just cause so much speculation. Like PGMOL, they're already under fire. They don't need. They just want to stick to the rule book wherever they can. I know people as well be moaning, going, "Oh, but get Esau, Salah and their dog say." Blah, blah, blah.
I think referees are scared now. They're just trying to stay consistent, so they're just going to stick with the law book. Because if they didn't stick with the law book, it could cause imagine next time something happens and the ref goes with the law book this time. And he's like, "Oh, we didn't do it last time." I think referees are just under so much pressure, like you said, Rob. They just have to stick to the law book. And even though it's annoying and it kind of killed the vibe of the game at the end, just let the goal. Everyone's just let the goal stand. You avoid the red card, they get the goal. Because people are now saying like Liverpool now down, probably their best player of the season so far, and for 3 games. And imagine City draw points with Arsenal, but they lose by 1 goal difference. Like I know that's going to be a high odds thing to happen, but still a possibility. Imagine though, and that it's all because this 1 game caused all those issues. But at the end of the day, I understand the law book, so I can understand why the referees have made that decision.
One of us on the chat was really hoping for a Liverpool win in this game. Tyrese, what was your reaction to Liverpool not failing to do you a favour by beating Man City at Anfield?
Well, when Szoboszlai scored the free kick, I was like, "Oh my god, it's the one. This is the one. Like Liverpool are going to do it." And then Bernardo Silva scored the equaliser. I was like, "Okay, you know what? Worst case scenario, cool. We're still 8 points clear at this point. I'll take it." And then they have to be so bad, so rash. Alisson, so poor, so poor. Like, why? Why?
Every cloud has a silver lining. Arsenal.
No.
Hey, Alisson's won a lot more trophies than Ray. I
Sacrifices have
wouldn't
to be
be
made.
doubting on
Every
him
cloud,
right now.
every cloud has a silver
Tom,
lining.
you're down in 15th, mate. We're not talking to you.
No,
Right. As I was saying, it's so poor, so rash. It's a mistake he never makes. He only makes that mistake once a season, and he does it bloody yesterday. Like Alisson doesn't make these type of mistakes, and he's done it. I was absolutely livid.
I bet most of the country supported that challenge.
No, nobody supported it. I would have taken a draw gladly, but it's not meant to be. We're gonna have to do it the hard way, but we will do it.
Brentford away.
Right,
Brentford
can I
away
ask
should
a
be
little
tough,
question? I don't think it'll be a hard question, just a little question. Are you nervous? You're still 6 points clear, but are
Why
you
would
nervous?
I be nervous being 6 points clear? I'm not relying on Liverpool to win as a league.
Okay, we've
I
seen it
ain't relying on
before.
Liverpool to
We've
win.
seen it before. We've seen it before.
Mate, Brentford, you got Brentford
Look,
in midweek away.
Tom,
That's going to be tough.
are you?
That's a
Tom,
tough game.
That's
Are
a
you
tough
nervous
game.
being 6 points? Tom, are you nervous being 6 points off relegation?
No.
Oh,
I generally think we were worse last season. So if we couldn't get relegated last season, I'm not nervous this year.
Tom, have you seen West Ham's form? Come
Yeah,
on.
but it's not West Ham I'm scared of.
Who are
you scared of then?
Well, Burnley and
one of them
let's be
seems to
real,
come
Burnley and
out.
Wolves are
Who
down,
did-
but I generally believe I think Nottingham Forest are in way more of a bad situation than West Ham are, and
think-
Leeds.
No,
So
I think if Forest play you tomorrow, Forest win.
No,
Guaranteed. Forest will win.
no,
Forest will win
Forest
that
will
game.
beat you lot.
no.
Especially with
without
Romero as well. The saviour. Romero, the saviour of Spurs.
No, we'll get onto that in a sec.
Romero is better defensively than Van der Ven.
Then Van de Ven.
Right. Okay. Right. That's
Who clipped it?
Do you think there's any possibility United could do a late challenge for the title this season?
Yeah, as he said.
Don't be stupid, JP. Don't be stupid.
No,
Don't be stupid.
No, because the thing is, like, United are actually playing so well. It's literally the best I've seen them play probably since Ole. And even then, like, I thought they were still pretty bad. I thought they just used to get like dragged up a little bit by like Pogba and stuff. Like, obviously, Pogba, like, used to love hating on him at the time, but like, what a player! And he used to help them out a lot under Ole. And then, but yeah, how they're playing at the moment is I don't want to say it because it's exactly like what Gary Neville and everyone else says, but it's like it's the United way.
Yeah.
They're playing the United way. They understand what United is as a football club, like, so. And I do feel like Carrick's brought a bit of that back, but I feel like there's only so much new manager bounce. So even if he does get top
He's a
four,
good manager though. I liked him at Middlesbrough. I know it's a lower league club.
I know.
Good there.
He was good. He was good, but he couldn't quite get the cookie to crumble, could he? So, and then like Man United, like since Fergie's left, there have been absolutely notorious for new manager bounces. I think if he does,
Amarim didn't have one.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, him as
Van
the
Gaal.
exception. Him as the
Moyes.
exception. I think. Yeah, Yeah, but more like when I say new manager bounce, I mean more of like when a manager gets sacked when
Yeah,
you're
but they
playing
didn't
bad,
get
and the
that. They
manager
didn't get
comes
that
in and
bounce
sort of
from
revamps it
Van
a little
Gaal.
bit.
They didn't get that bounce from David Moyes.
Yeah, but
know.
I think you can see the players. I think you can see the players are actually backing Carrick though. Like even when his first game in charge and like Casemiro jumping on his back and everything, they're obviously very close with him. They obviously, players sometimes stop playing because they're like children, even though they have a job and they're getting paid 300 grand, 400 grand a week. If they're upset with a manager or just don't like a manager, they just stop playing, and it's the manager that loses his job in the end of the day.
No, I do, and I
it's
agree with that,
bad,
but
really.
I just feel like they're more than capable. I'd probably say the favourites out of us, Chelsea, and themselves. I'd say they're probably the favourites to get top 4 at the moment with the way all the teams
definitely.
are playing. But I just feel like if they were to give him the job after that, it would just crash and burn.
Yeah.
Like it did with Ole. Like Ole come in. What did Ole won like 14 games on the bounce? Just like the players didn't like the manager, and then they decided to turn it on once the manager got sacked. And then when it came down to business end and winning the big trophies and performing consistently across a whole season, they couldn't do it. And I just feel like
I feel like
They still finished second though. They still finished second in the Prem.
Yeah, the Ole reign was also a bit different because apparently
that
Sir
Ole?
Alex was
Yeah, it
actually
was
behind
Ole.
Ole. They finished second in the Prem with
yeah,
Ole.
but the gap weren't it like 20 points from top.
Yeah,
or
but
something?
that was crazy City, weren't it? That was just mental.
Yeah, that was
like, you couldn't do
ridiculous.
much. But that was like
That's what I'm
Aguero,
saying.
De Bruyne.
When you're talking
Yeah,
about
I
a
think that was
second,
that was
obviously
the
second's a
point
second,
season.
but like you
Yeah, but
imagine
they've gone backwards
Yeah.
since. They've gone
Yeah.
backwards. They've gone completely the wrong direction. I mean, Ole did a lot of good for that club. We allude to I think the one that's the moment that sticks out for United, for United fans. Obviously, I don't really care, but the PSG game where with the Rashford penalty.
yeah.
That's an iconic moment. Like I said, doesn't matter the gap, finish second. I mean, United fans would take that now. Then
Arsenal take it every year.
they've
No,
just
but
had.
but that's what I'm saying.
Bro, you're 15th. He's 15th and he's talking.
But then I think they've got to go for Carrick though, because at least with Ollie, it's the same sort of situation. But Ollie was never had any success. I know Carrick has minimal success. He did all right for a few months, like for 6 months at Middlesbrough, but that was better than anything Ollie ever did in his career.
Yeah, Ole, and also there was a lot of news that Ole, Fergie was behind the scenes a lot with Ole, like helping bringing people in, tactics,
and
like,
he'll back Carrick. He'll
and
back Carrick.
Fergie had a lot to do with that apparently behind the scenes, and I think there was only so much. I know. I think Fergie got told to back down because he wasn't the manager, and he's got to let I don't think the board liked it. That even though he's a legend and a hero of that club, it was just like a bit naughty because you can't be giving people tactics and tips or like helping Man U sign like players like Ronaldo when you've got nothing involvement in the club. No other club does that. It's not fair. Like
That's
imagine
what they
Klopp,
did with
imagine
Fletcher
Klopp
as
still
well.
talking to Liverpool and like getting transfers for Liverpool and stuff like that. It's not fair.
Yeah,
that's not the
then
game. You've got to move on. And
but then anyone saying who anyone who's saying it shouldn't be Carrick, who would it be then? Because I
like Carrick. I really think Man U
can't
United
think.
would be silly bringing in another manager. Like right now, I think
I don't know who
give
else.
Carrick to the end. Give Carrick to the end of the season. If it doesn't work out, like if he starts really falling off the bowl and you can really see everything, then make a decision in the summer. But right now, with the way Carrick's going, even if Carrick gets top 6, top 8, they finished 16th last season. That is a massive progress. That's humongous. And that's the way that's the way Man United should think. If Carrick can get them in a top 6, back in European football, whether it's Champions League or not. I mean, I think even 6th place can be Champions League now. So, it's just, I'll just keep him. I think it'll be very silly to get rid of him.
I think he'll get top 4. What I'm saying is, beyond that, do you let him try and go for the bigger prize?
Definitely.
I think it'll be silly not to.
I don't think he's good enough to get United there.
But who else?
I think we're being harsh on it. I think
let's say for example, like the rumors are Enrique from PSG is
no chance. Why would he go?
If they don't get Carrick, they're gonna get Glasner. and the same thing's going to happen. The same thing's going to happen. So
They're going to ruin a good
don't
manager.
bite the bullet on Carrick. I think it's, I speak to a lot of United fans about this, and they say if they don't bite the bullet on Carrick already, then they're gonna go downhill again.
Yeah. The thing is, you got to remember, we're in a whole new generation now of football. We're back with, we're in a whole generation for a decade of Ronaldo, Messi, Ibra, like all the top players. Yeah, everyone knew all the top players in the world. Now it's recycling again. We're going to have a new regime of managers now. And these managers, like Michael Carrick, we might not see them as top managers yet, but they are the managers coming through the system now. Most teams that have these managers now, they're brand new managers, apart from Pep, maybe. Every team is a brand new manager. Even Arteta is technically a brand new manager. I know he's seen 6 years, 5 years, but he's still a new manager, compared to a lot of these older guys. And that is just the world now. And I think you have to give player. There isn't really much more you can do, like bringing a top manager away, like Conte, Mourinho. Their reign's gone now. They're still good managers, but you can't bring them back to the Premier League.
Southgate
their style doesn't work anymore. That's just gone now. It's a whole new generation.
Well, no, Conte's
Carrick
style still
be part of
works.
that, potentially.
Conte's style does still work because he won a league last year. So Conte football still works. He just wouldn't. Why would you leave Napoli and go to Man United at this stage of your career? I don't think he would. I think the only realistic managers for United would be Xavi or Glasner.
The problem, but with
a whole new generation.
Glasner is at the perfect point of his career to go to Manchester United, but I just don't think it will work out. Like it hasn't worked out with Ten Hag, and like it hasn't worked out with Amorim. So I'm still standing by it.
If it's not broken,
they need to
don't
go with
fix
Michael
it.
Carrick.
Yeah, I'd keep him too. I think
because that's something they have with Solly.
I just feel like by doing that, why put off the inevitable? Because like he's not going to win him a Premier League. He's not going to win him a Champions League.
He might get him an FA Cup.
I mean, granted, yes, they've got that whole week to train. They've got that whole week rest between their games. Fine, but you look at Man City. They beat Man City. All right, then Bowden Glim beat Man City straight after. But then Man City come back against
Who would
Liverpool.
have thought they'd
we're
come
still
to
talking
us?
about Man City in a title race.
And win.
Man United have beaten quite a few decent teams along this run.
Look, guys, we all thought about Arteta.
No. I'm not putting his football down. I'm not putting his football down because he's actually got you guys to play him. What Amorim was subjecting you guys to.
No one here.
Oh, it's my bad. Sorry. Who's United? Who's United?
I know it's the hair.
No, United's not here.
I know, it's his haircut, Cal. It's a Man United style.
Yeah. No. So, like me personally, I just think they're just stalling the inevitable. If they was to if Carrick got top 4 and they gave him a 2-year job, he's getting sacked that season. Like he will get.
I can't say that.
I don't think.
I do think that because I'll tell you why. Arsenal, obviously, like people have their reservations about their football and stuff, but they're fucking very difficult to beat, as we've seen this season. And they'll strengthen in the summer. City, obviously, they'll strengthen.
Arsenal weren't strong when Arteta first came in. There was a lot of Arsenal fans that were calling for Arteta's head after like year 1, year 2. They kept with him because, and look, let's be real. Even though they were good last year, every single fan, apart from maybe, Time might agree with this, but every single fan thought Arteta's a decent manager, but he's not a trophy winner. He's not going to do it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be wrong. He's proving all the haters wrong right now. He's on really for quadruple. I'm not saying they are going to get it. I think that's
you can only prove
highly unlikely, especially with not winning a trophy.
Again, not to put a bit.
Look, they gave Arteta a chance.
I think last season.
It's just a new manager generation, and Carrick's, I generally believe he's within that. And I think you just got to give him time, and he will take Man U back to their glory days.
But I think he's got a great. I might sound really idiotic with this point, right? But I think one way he has a really good opportunity is getting United getting rid of Bruno Fernandes.
No,
because I think no. Hear me out.
No.
No. Because Bruno Fernandes is this world-class player, right?
Yeah.
And I won't deny this. He is probably the only Manchester United player that I'd take hands down in a Liverpool team.
Okay.
Phenomenal player, but it's restricted. I feel like with managers, it's restricted like the development around him at times. And I may sound really stupid for saying this. And Man United fans, if this ever goes on TikTok, will probably come at me for saying this. But I do feel that this could be an opportunity for Carrick to build a team, without Bruno Fernandes for the future. I may be really, like Tom's alluded to, I may be really wrong with that point.
I disagree with you. I agree with
You
Thomas.
just stated in the
okay,
beginning
that's
of
okay.
it,
You
you would have Bruno Fernandes at Liverpool. He's probably the best player at United. Why would you not? Sorry, aren't you supposed to build a team around your best players? Why get rid of your best player and try and start saying,
he
no,
wants
you
to
build.
go. He wants
Look,
to
but
go.
they're doing. No, but I don't think he does anymore. They brought in Mbeumo, who's doing great. They got. You said they're not developing players. Amad Diallo's developing over on the right wing back at this current moment.
Better than Doku, by the way.
They've got Manu back in that squad, and he's performing well. They're developing players around. They've got Dorgu developing. You're not saying not developing. They've got good players developing around. I just think there's certain positions like Dallow's position that could get fit. Dallow's in the
Dallo. Yeah.
maybe all they need is a top centre back, because I don't think they're fault in there. You got to remember, Man U last season. You say Bruno was in there, and it's fault in the growth. They played with a young squad last season because of their injury loss, and you saw them struggling because of it. They didn't need that. I know you say that every team needs growth, but they needed to bring in the likes of Mbeumo and Cunha. Those actual proper players that Man U should have. Those well, that Mbeumo at the moment is probably one of the best wingers in the Premier League right now. We're probably coming on to world class if you give him another season and he does the same tally once again. He's just one of those. And that I think you're wrong. I think Bruno is the main man. You've been watching him throughout these games as well. He's just too good. Like he's passing ability, he's shooting ability, like on even his set pieces, free kicks, penalties. The defending, attacking, you just can't lose a man like that. And as you said, you would take him at Liverpool. So, and you're a developing team right now. So why would you buy Bruno if you want to develop your team? You're basically just saying what Man U are saying.
Yeah, Callum, do you think that Carrick is going to go the same way as Ole?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think?
If he gets top four, the maximum he'll go after this season is a year and a half, 100%. That's what I think.
I mean, we're seeing a year and a half.
Having said that, what me and you were talking about, Tyrese, the Real Madrid situation. Maybe is it that Man United is a similar situation to Real Madrid? Maybe it's more of a let the players play kind of setup, and it's like they're bringing in managers to implement a style of football instead of just letting the players play. Maybe it's,
you know what?
Maybe
I think Carrick is letting the players play though, because he's using the exact same formation as Amorim.
No,
the players are playing their style, like the way
they're not playing the same formation as Amorim. They're going forward.
No. They're forward back. No, they're forward back.
They're forward back.
Oh, sorry. I think they did play 5 back at one point, but they might have changed it. I'm pretty sure it was just playing brute. Oh no, it is, yeah, because Casemiro. Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, it's like a standard football. It's like when a team has been trying to do too much and then they end up sacking that manager and someone just comes and he's like, all right, cool, back to basics. That's literally like what it is. It's exactly what Ole done. It's what Carrick's gonna do. But to push on that little bit further, you need that little bit more cuteness as a manager, like a little bit more like tactically flexible. And I feel like when he comes to that stumbling block, he'll run out of ideas.
Well, that's where we find out if he's going to be a top manager in the new generation or if he's just going to be another stumbling block. But right now, I think you just have to give managers. I feel like Thomas Frank right now, the step up was obviously a lot, and he is struggling in there, and I still think he's under a lot of pressure. But he's changed his tactics a little bit. And I know we just lost United, but it changed us a little bit. It's made us look a bit more fluid up top. It's made us look a little bit more dangerous. And sometimes it's like Arteta when he first came to Arsenal. He was, I know people say won a trophy with that FA Cup, but he still was very rusty. They were losing games. There was a lot of the Aubameyang stuff that really caused a lot of problems, but they let him have today. They let him have that chance, and he's grown it into such, it's maybe a boring team, that people might say, but Ty's not going to care. No fan would care if they're boring. If they're going to win the league, that's it at the end of the day. And I think that, you might say Carrick will last a year and a half because you haven't seen him much, but Arteta was only an assistant manager for Manchester City. You just got to give managers a chance. And this is the period where we find out who's world-class manager and who's not, in the future.
I feel like with Arteta, and the reason it's different with Carrick is because there was a feel in the years leading up before he went to Arsenal. Everyone knew that Arteta was an up and coming good manager,
But I feel
didn't-
Carrick's in that
Isn't that the
situation.
same as Carrick? Carrick
Carrick's
came
in
into
that
United and there was a
situation.
feel that he was
Club
going to be
size-
good.
club
I feel
size
like
of
Carrick is
Arsenal
that.
can take just a random punt on City's assistant manager. Like
I just,
I think there was
Yeah, but
definitely.
I feel like
I don't know. I
Carrick,
think there's a
that's where
much
Carrick
different
is. I feel
feel
like that's where
between.
Carrick
Go on,
is.
Max. Sorry, go on, Max.
No. But I agree with you, Tom. I think that's where
Yeah.
Carrick is as a manager. He was doing incredibly well at Middlesbrough, with that club. And I think squad wise there are better teams in the Championship than Middlesbrough. But the way he's led them out, them out when he was manager.
I also think Man U know what they've been doing behind the scenes because they knew they were going to drop Amorim. They had a feeling he was still underperforming. Why bring in Michael Carrick? He was a manager at Middlesbrough, right? What could they have possibly said to Michael Carrick to get him out of being a manager and get him into Manchester United to just sit on the sidelines? He knew that he was definitely told before he signed that contract that if Amorim goes, we're not signing new manager, you're going to take over, because they knew, and I think they were building up to it. It was obviously planned. They were building up to.
Also, Carrick wouldn't leave a stable job. At
Of course,
Middlesbrough.
unless he knew there was an opportunity behind Amorim, and he obviously knew that.
I believe he did.
in the summer though, didn't he?
Didn't Carrick
Yeah.
get sacked?
Did he get sacked? Why would he get sacked though if he basically
he
got
got-
promoted?
Rob Edwards was at Middlesbrough. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's almost.
I was going to say he wouldn't have got sacked.
Yeah,
He
he
just
was
got
been there
moved.
for a while.
yeah.
no, because
He got sacked. He got sacked. He got
Yeah,
sacked because
yeah,
he
just-
was doing.
the season before, obviously Wolves were struggling, and then they managed to convince Rob Edwards to leave his role at Middlesbrough. So this season started with Rob Edwards in charge of Middlesbrough. Carrick must have got sacked or left.
At the end of last season.
Right.
Why would he have got sacked though? There must have been a reason
Because
behind that.
he was doing poor. He wasn't that good.
It's probably
He wasn't that
promotion
good.
reasons. Probably
When
because
did
they
he get
felt
promoted? When they in the playoffs?
Because like someone said earlier he was
Yeah.
there for like 6 months. I'm sure he was there for like 2 years.
He was there for about 2.5 years.
he was
He was
there
there
for
for
like
2.5 years.
2022.
I think he had
He
a
was there for a
strong.
while.
Because he got to the
He
semi-finals
had a strong
of the
first
Carabao
season
Cup
and a
where he
half,
played
and then he
us.
fell
Yeah.
away, and he weren't nowhere near getting them promoted. So
Last season, top. Last season, top 10. Last season, he came 10th. That's not good enough, really, for Middlesbrough.
yeah,
That's why he got.
They came eighth last season, 3 points off the sixth, the playoff.
No, they came 10th.
Oh no, that's season before. Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I think, especially in the Championship, I think the expectation when you're managing, one of the clubs that look likely to go into the Premier League, if you don't get that automatic promotion spot or win the playoff final, then you're going to be at risk.